At 12, I swore the oath, leaving home and family. At 16, I saw my master die. I took up his shield and his name, and on that day, I became a crusader. Armored by faith, driven by duty, bound to kill the enemies of Zakarum. Sworn to live as a crusader and to die as one. Now, corruption returns to the hearts of men. I see it in the eyes of the mad, hear it in the howling of the damned. A falling star in the west leads me to the town of New Tristram. The crusade calls me, and so I go.
This is the story of the Fallen Star and the quest's original appearance in Diablo 3. We first arrive on our journey on the outskirts of New Tristram. As we step off the dilapidated bridge, we're first met with a dark and foreboding land. Moving forward to survey the town, we see a broken sign to New Tristram, and we mutter to ourselves,
The Fallen Star is close, but there is death here too.
Making our way east, following the path to the village, we get our first ominous sign of trouble. Some carrion birds are picking at a poor woman's corpse, flayed out in a pool of gore. The body is rotted away and her valuables are still in place, as we see 2 coin purses untouched. We then can deduce this was not the work of highway bandits. As then we see the first of the undead now risen, feasting on a poor couple next to their overturned wagon. The undead barely notice us, shambling around as if confused before we end its miserable existence. However, it is not alone. As we continue further along the path, we're greeted by a terrible sight. More corpses re-risen and feasting on flesh. They, however, are less welcoming to trespassers. Though their assault barely scratched our shield, we realize quickly, seeing the bodies ahead, that what they lack in vigor, they more than make up for in sheer numbers. It's then we happen upon the gates of New Tristram. Corpses strewn about as a guard captain and his men fend off the dead with flame, bow, and steel. Approaching the captain, he says,
Greetings. I am a crusader of the Zakarum faith, and I saw a star falling on this town.
It fell on the old cathedral. There was only one survivor, Leah. You should speak with her.
Captain Rumford, more dead are coming.
We can't open the gates until we drive them back.
Before Rumford could finish his thought, the dead rise anew as a gaggle awaken in a pack of fallen dead littered about. With the guards' help, we fight them off as they claw at us hungrily, yet ultimately make short work of them, to which Rumford remarks,
Yeah! I've never seen anyone fight like that before. Guards, open the gates! You'll find Leah at the Slaughtered Calf Inn.
So this Leah is our best bet. As the only survivor of the Fallen Star, we best head to the Slaughtered Calf Inn as Rumford guides. Heading west through the gates and stowing our weapons, we see a militiaman burning corpses, and one of his brothers in arms says,
Burn those corpses before they rise again.
We approach the militiaman next to the wagon and he explains,
The dead have been a bane on our existence since that cursed fire fell. We have to burn them, just to make sure they don't rise from the grave.
Makes sense why the guards were dousing the bodies. As we head into town, we see someone who has been performing autopsies in a questionably hygienic makeshift medical center. A scholar and onlooker then remarks,
I came here to study the fall of Old Tristram. This is closer to the town's history than I want to be.
Understandable. I don't think the dead bear much insight. We then see the town healer, clearly alarmed by the happenings, and he says,
Zakarum has fallen to disgrace. What faith can save us now? It is the end of the world. Can't you see that?
Zakarum will be restored, friend.
We assure him we will bring the Zakarum back to its former glory before heading south into the town center, which has a large waypoint in the middle and a militiaman clearly shaken up by the happenings.
I promised Marco I'd protect him, and now he's dead.
Standing next to him is a blacksmith, Hadric, who shares,
Nothing ever seems to change in New Tristram, does it?
What do you mean?
There's always some threat of the risen dead or foul evil descending on the town, isn't there?
It certainly seems like we have our work cut out for us. It's amazing that anyone is left in this town. As if hearing our thoughts, we cross paths with the town mayor, standing in the northwest corner with a cart of belongings which is very much overpacked, and he scoffs as he sees us, saying,
Please move your cart.
How dare you speak to me like that? I am the mayor of this town.
Lord Mayor, please move your cart.
Are you mad? This town is doomed. Anyone with a grain of sense should be trying to get out. Will you help me or not?
Fleeing will not save your life, and certainly not your town.
Poor wretches never had a chance. Even the mayor has abandoned them. With our grim assessment complete, we head inside into the Slaughtered Calf Inn a few feet away. As we enter the inn, we see a villager by the south wall who informs us.
Tristram used to be such a wonderful place to live. My family has been here since the town grew out of the ruins of Old Tristram. But now, it's horrible. The loved ones we've buried and grieved over now threaten our lives.
There's seldom anything worse than a family member's passing, except for the ghoulish reality of having to burn their zombified corpses with fire, lest they take a sweet chunk out of your own flesh. As we head into the main bar area, we see many of the infirmed scattered about. The duo of ladies loitering next to them say,
I don't care what anyone says. That thing that fell from the sky was no rock. A rock doesn't cause the dead to leave their graves.
Have you come to help us? The other adventurers who came through here didn't look so deadly.
Though we appreciate their confidence, this is still quite a mystery. It's then we see a young girl, brown hair, looking shy of making it past 16 winters. This must be Leah, and though her innocence seems to belie an aged experience about her. Bow on back and standing confident compared to the rest of the townsfolk, we approach her and she says,
Are you Leah? They tell me you survived the falling star.
I did, but it blasted my uncle Deckard Cain into the depths of the old cathedral. I tried to search for him, but the dead were already rising. I came back here to rally the militia, but Watch out! The wounded are turning!
Before she can finish her thought, the dead rise up. Forced to slaughter the villagers in front of their kin, we begin our unenviable task with precision and Leah's aid. Using our shield to bash down the last, the tavern now left to be caked in gore, the barkeep then remarks.
This is killing business.
It's then we see Leah again for a further update.
The dead will overwhelm us all, unless something is done.
Something like putting the dead back to sleep? I can do that.
Thank you. You should speak with Captain Rumford at the gate. He can tell you what to do.
It seems back to Rumford we go. First, we take a look around for more undead, and as we gingerly step over two skeletons we gifted to the floor, we stop momentarily to admire the fabled slaughter calf. No doubt what the inn was named after. Ugh, if that's the calf, I'd hate to see a fully grown one. With Leah's permission, we head downstairs to see her room, and although standard fare by all accounts, we see her journal for insight of what's happened.
We've been under siege for 6 days now. Uncle Deckard is still missing. Captain Rumford and the others are losing hope. I tell them not to lose faith, but if help doesn't arrive soon...
16 militiamen went out, only Rumford came back. How could that help us?
We never should have built on this cursed ground. Maybe Cain was right. Even in death, Diablo torments us.
We then see Leah's uncle Cain's door is now open, and we look inside his home for clues to his disappearance and spy his journal in his room, which appears to be a font of knowledge on the burning hells, and so we decide it will be invaluable in our cause until we find him.
We have come at last to Tristram's old cathedral. This is where Diablo, Lord of Terror, first corrupted mankind. This is where I may finally find the answers I seek. Leah worries after my safety, but I believe information vital to defeating the last lords of the burning hells can be found here.
Heading back out the gate once more, we see Captain Rumford, who says,
I've come to help. How do we stop these risen dead?
I admire your courage, but Captain Dalton and the militia were slaughtered by those things. Only I survived.
Have faith, Captain. Have faith.
Well, I have seen you fight. Strike at the wretched mothers and their queen. They're the ones vomiting out these horrors.
They're attacking the barricades!
Assuring the captain, we then fight off a pack of undead attacking the barricade. As they break through, we single out the wretched mothers, said to spew out more undead in an unholy stream of vile vomit.
There, that's one of the wretched mothers. There are more of them in the ruins down the road.
With the deed done, we put on our tunic, found off the dead, and head north to hunt down the wretched queens and quell their numbers. And are then confronted by the undead lingering in droves. They seem somewhat aimless as they amble about, mostly focused on their fleshy, fresh meal. As we head to purge more near a caravan, there's a burning militia man. Checking Kane's journal, we find more lore about these foul fiends, and he says,
I will never forget the first time I saw these horrors shambling out of the misty woods. Our loved ones, buried long ago, rose from their graves and began to attack the living. However, the risen dead were only the beginning.
After downing 3 of the matriarch undead, we say to ourselves,
that should slow the attacks.
Now with the numbers thinned out, we head east through a broken gate into the ruins of Old Tristram.
Old Tristram? Diablo himself was here.
As we head inside, we see packs of ambling undead. But why are they drawn to this town of all places? The town itself is crumbling in a shell of its quote-unquote former glory. If Tristram in Diablo 1 was already a shell of its former glory, then this is a shell of a shell. A decrepit ghost town in shambles. As we cross past Kane's old well in the center of town, which is guarded by some very girthy undead. We see his broken cage from Diablo 2. It's then we spy Griswold the blacksmith's armor rack, and it may still hold a hidden treasure. However, as we go to loot it, there's only low quality items. Bandits must have happened through here a long time ago. It's then the wretched queen herself appears and spews her rotten attacks at us. As she brings forth more zombies, we stalk her down and battle through her minions to send her back to the abyss as she tries to flee from the town and save her wretched hide. However, we're no more wiser about the fallen star's part in all of this, and so we see a handy waypoint near a gate and teleport back to New Tristram that honestly stands in an okay state compared to the Old Tristram town, and speak to Leah next to Captain Rumford, who shares.
For a long time, Uncle Deckard avoided coming back to this place. There were a lot of ghosts here for him. This is where Diablo drove old King Leoric mad and terrorized the people. I don't know what really happened here, but whatever it was horrible. Nearly everyone who survived went mad. I've never heard of the Crusaders.
We serve the Zakarum faith. We're from the east and only recently came to these lands. Some of us did, at least.
Well, I hope you're not planning to convert these people by the sword.
I'm not here to convert anyone. My crusade is to find a way to cleanse the corruption that infests my faith. When that evil is destroyed, the Zakarum will be restored, and people can choose to believe in it or not, as they please.
Captain Rumford then says,
Thank you for your help, but could you talk some sense into Leah? She won't give up on the idea of rescuing her uncle.
She's brave. With help, she may yet save Kane.
And with that, we've aided the town and the Fallen Star quest is complete. But we should see Leah about her missing uncle. However, that's a story for another day. If you've enjoyed the video, please smash the like button and consider subscribing. It really helps the channel out. As always, thanks for watching. And until next time, Traveler.
Not enough wrath.